Isaiah Oliver was one of the best corners coming out of college out of Colorado in the 2018 NFL Draft. While he wasn't considered a generational prospect, he was definitely one of the top prospects, with some analysts, including Brett Coleman, even thinking he was worth a first-round pick, and a high one at that. While he didn't necessarily live up to the hype, he was selected as the 8th cornerback in the draft and was a second-rounder for the Atlanta Falcons. While in Atlanta, Oliver never really found himself as a true outside corner, and never really found his footing to be a shutdown man. That is, until the emergence of A.J. Terrell 2 years ago. In the last couple seasons, with A.J. Terrell manning the outside, Oliver's been given a lot less pressure to be a true standout corner, and now he's found himself a home. Playing in the nickel role last year, he was considered the 10th best corner by PFF, which, while it's not necessarily a perfect metric, is certainly a good ranking no matter who you are. So how did Isaiah Oliver find himself so deep into his career, and how's he going to do now that he found a new spot as the nickel role over in San Francisco? Well, let's take a look at what a nickelbacker is, and let's see what Isaiah Oliver does that's going to make it worth it. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? I'm Tyler Coker, and I'm your host for today's episode of Today with Tyler. I hope you enjoy. But first, what is a Nickelback? No, it's not the Canadian rock band that rolled the early 2000s, but rather one of the most difficult and underrated positions in football. The Nickelback has 3 key pillars that define their otherwise hard to define role. They have to cover the slot, defend against the run, and rush the passer. While coverage is the most important, the hardest typically is run defense, as a prototype slot corner is much too small to be a quality run defender, who often takes the place of a linebacker in run fits. That's what makes a nickelback so hard to nail down. You have to cover like a slot corner, tackle like a linebacker, and have quick blitz ability that can apply pressure before the secondary collapses behind you. Some of the prominent players filling nickelback roles include rookie stud Kyle Hamilton, one of the NFL's most underappreciated corners in Michael Carter, and L'Jarius Sneed. That role can be filled by somebody categorized as a safety or a corner, but it truly is difficult to find the perfect blend of size, speed, and technique that can be a permanent nickelback. But that's exactly what Isaiah Oliver was for the Falcons and will be for the boys in the Bay. Now, let's take a look at some impressive coverage abilities from Oliver. Oliver is certainly a first-class athlete and can follow routes without even locking in his man with his hands. When in off coverage, Oliver reads quarterbacks and route concepts extremely well, which helps him succeed in a versatile nickel role in which he often switches between press and off coverage from many alignments. He has the sticky physical nature of a classic press corner and has the ball skills to pair with his cover skills to be a true difference maker. He blankets slot receivers with tight coverage, never letting his man get an inch to work with, showing off his ball skills at any time possible. The diverse coverage resume is enticing for any defensive coordinator, and will be great for a suffocating and competitive defense in the Bay. But Oliver isn't just versatile in coverage schemes, his game contains a lot more. As was hinted at, Oliver is good in more than just one coverage. Oliver is PFF's 6th ranked cornerback blitzer, which is a fairly niche role, but would include the NFL's finest nickelbacks. Aside from the blitzing in the slot, Oliver has the aggression and tackling ability to play into the box, which is key for a DB like Oliver and helps mix up his blitzing looks as well, helping the already elite 49er run defense. What's most interesting and makes Oliver so unique is that he's able to play a deep safety despite being a corner. He can float on top of coverage and play a deep zone, which is rather unique for a true cornerback who played outside in college. From the deep part of the field, he's not left out of the action, however, and has the instincts to crash down and track the ball from anywhere. The 49ers had already cut out a role that was very similar to Isaiah Oliver's that was left vacant this offseason. Safety Jimmy Ward went to the Texans alongside D'Amico Ryans, and Oliver might be even more successful in that role than Ward was, who already was a great player last year. In terms of coverage, the role is versatile, and Oliver will be able to lock down receivers and play the ball just how Ward did before him. While not officially listed as a safety, Oliver displayed the versatility to drop deep, which lets Deshaun Gibson and Talanoa Hufanga stay unpredictable as well, which is just unfair to the league's offenses. And, of course, Ward was a blitzer, And Oliver has that same burst off the line to be a change of pace and create chaos in the trenches. Isaiah Oliver has more than earned his fair share of praises. As somebody who found a lot of difficulty coming out of college, and even though he was coming out of a Power 5 conference, he definitely found the NFL hard. But he found a role, and that's more than anyone can ever ask for. He's a guy who managed to have a unique skill set and is now being used. And being in San Francisco means it's only going to get used even better. The 49ers defense is going to be elite already, and by adding Oliver into the mix, you're just making it even more potent. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.